What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Ryan Meyer's Expeditions. Today I've got something really sick for you. I'm out here with Ben Zion, who's like a 100-meter diver, so that means we're hunting deep today. We're looking for those ukus, looking for Onos. We might do some chumming, might drop the flasher a little bit out here on the Ono lane. It's one of my kind of favorite things to do is to be in the Ono area, but also like chumming for the ukus. So the ukus could come up deep from the bottom, the Onos can come from the top, anything could happen. We're on one of my favorite spots of the island that you can really only access when it's nice and flat. This is gonna be sick. Guys, today I'm shooting another new gun. I've got the Pathos 110. This is the laser. So that means it's a carbon round barrel. It's got the little loaded thing down below. I got the Pathos vertical reel. Pretty stoked to try this thing out. We'll see how it behaves in the water. Guys, if you're interested in getting a gun like this, I got you guys 10% off at americandiveco.com. I'll put that code down below. This should be pretty sick, guys. I am so freaking stoked to be back here. We will see you guys in the water. I love it when a plan comes together, guys, and the whole hope for this day was Onos. And as soon as we got out there and dropped that flasher, first one came flying in out of nowhere. Now, I had a relatively smaller gun here, and I'm trying to be as careful as I can to stick him right in that sweet spot between those back two fins. And I hit him pretty well there. I could see the flopper go all the way through, but unfortunately, it never opened. Probably my own fault. I should have tuned that thing as soon as I got it, and this guy got away. So Ben literally looked over to me and was like, hey, what happened? And I was like, flopper went through, didn't engage on the other side. And I was like, next one's yours, buddy. And I stick my face in the water, and literally the next one is right there. I'm like, go, go, go. He drops down, and you can see how kind of slowly he's approaching this fish. He has a bigger gun, you know, he's got a little bit more range. It's still only a two-banded gun, but it's a bigger wooden gun, and he's able to have the range and the confidence to take that little bit longer shot. Now, I may not have approached it kind of as aggressively as he did, but it worked out really well for him. He was able to get plenty close enough and put a really nice holding shot in that fish, again in that same area that I was aiming for, right there between that peck and that anal fin. And he had a little more angle on his, so it went, you know, kind of forward and was able to hold in a lot of fish. Now, he has a belt reel on that reel, and this is kind of textbook belt reel Ono hunting methods. The first thing he did was connect that reel to his gun, and you can see right there that he needed it. He was out of line on his reel, but he was able to kind of play it there a little bit, swim forward to kind of keep that Ono, minimizing the amount of line that he's taken out. You can see he just ripped out again right there, and he's playing that on his belt reel while fighting forward and trying to just control this fish as best he can without putting too much pressure on it, you know? And as the buddy, as the safety diver, my job is to grab that flasher and follow him. He shouldn't have to worry about where that flasher is, where he's going, where his backup shot is gonna come from. That's my job, to grab that flasher and follow him as best I can. You can see him here again, playing that line in and out, letting the belt reel go out, but also kicking as fast as he can. He could have sat there and floated in place, but then a lot more line from his belt reel is gonna end up going out, which you wanna keep as much in reserve there as possible. It's just much faster to reload if you don't have 300 feet to reel in on your belt reel and then, you know, 200 feet to reel in on your reel. So he's trying to manage that as best he can, and he's doing a pretty great job. And anytime you're fighting anything with a belt reel or with a reel in general with a lot of line out, you have to be so freaking careful to not get tangled up. To not get tangled up in it as a safety measure, but also as like a pure efficiency method. The more tangles you create out here in the ocean, like, you've got to fix it before anything can start again, before we can go hunting again. So the key with that is to keep those tangles from happening at the beginning, let that gun go out behind him, swim away from that line, and just generally be really conscious of kind of that whole entire line management. So eventually here he gets this fish up high enough off the reef. He's kind of not in any danger from sharks. He's not in any danger of ripping off on the bottom. He's gonna play this thing as light as he can in order to wait for his buddy, me, to get down there and put another shot securing this fish. And that's exactly what I do. As soon as I catch my breath and catch up to him, I'm able to swim down, put a nice shot right there, secure, safe, cheek shot, and we're able to land this fish. This is 40, 50 pound fish, depending on who you ask. He said one of his best Onos ever. Just absolutely a beautiful dream fish right here from shore.
That's my biggest Hawaiian, I think.
Right after landing that Ono, Ben was able to get back down to the bottom and pick up this solid uku for a pretty epic start to the day. So I was up next here, heading down to the bottom. We've kind of looked around already. There's no Onos charging the flasher, but we're still in that Ono zone. And that is what, again, is so special about this style of diving, is when you're close enough to shore to hunt the reef, but far enough from shore to be in that blue water zone and be waiting for those Onos to show up. So in between those dives, deep, deep drops, looking for ukus. And that's me right here on the bottom. This is like 27 meters, so 90 something feet, 95 feet or so. Get down, find the edge of the reef as always, lay parallel with it, keep my left hand on something solid so that I can pop myself up and move if I need to, doing my grunts on the bottom. There's some dusting right there, trying to see if I can attract anything in. I think I see that uku right now out here in front of me, happen to be facing the right direction, which is awesome, and chill and wait and see how close I can get him to come to me. You can see him there, he's kind of coming in, they go out. This is what ukus do. And if you sit down there and you relax and you're calm as much as possible, and you have enough time to wait at depth, which thankfully I do and I did right here, you're able to wait till he makes a pass and then do that one little lunge, get close enough to take a shot. Now this was a little bit of a longer shot, so I wasn't as confident in how well I hit him. And again, this is a whole nother lesson in playing fish, is you want that fish to, as if you're fighting a fish on a fishing reel, like you need to be really, really careful with it and not put a lot of pressure on it while also keeping it out of the reef. And that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to let that line go out and play it really nice and softly until I can get that thing close enough in to get Ben down there to take another shot. Now, I haven't communicated with Ben at all, but he can tell just by looking at me and by how carefully I'm playing this fish that a backup shot is definitely something that needs to happen. And he knows that, and that's a really, really good point of having a good buddy that can tell what you want without ever needing to communicate it. He knows that if I had a good shot on this uku, I would have just ripped that thing into the surface. Instead, I'm playing it super, super carefully, so he swims down to put a second shot in. And kind of makes one of these really classic mistakes that you see a lot. He missed from point blank on this Ono. I guarantee he was trying to get a perfect cheek shot, perfect headshot, missed it. Thankfully, he was able to then reach out, just grab the fish by the tail. I mean, it doesn't hurt to be like a 100-meter diver here, but it's good to have a buddy like this and him get down there and land my fish.
I haven't done that probably ever.
I've done that a bunch, but not in a while.
You really never know what you're gonna see out here on the edge of the reef, and this is proof right here. I mean, we're just chilling here, and this is probably a 60, 70-pound ahi just comes cruising by below us, but we've got no chum and no chance. So after that ahi came through, the school of kahalas came through, and Ben, not one to waste an opportunity at 10 pounds of free chum, drops down, sticks one of these, hoping to attract some ahis, but wait till you see what actually comes in later in this video. So we're dropping a lot of chunks, and again, that's something that you guys have got to do at your own risk and in a calculated way, because there are a lot of really, really big predators out there that also like fish. So this dive, we're dropping some chunks, I'm getting down deep. I think this was in like that 35-meter range, about 115, 110 feet. A lot of sand, and this is characteristic of uku territory. They really seem to like these flatter rocks with these big sand patches in between. Nothing else seems to be around. Like you'll notice in when there's uku, there's almost like, it's not like there's a lot of other stuff, but this deep, flat, gravelly stuff just seems to have a lot of uku. And the moment I touch the bottom, This guy came in dumb as a rock, which I love to see, especially when I'm out here diving kind of the end of the world. You know, I see a fish and I'm like, I'm at 35 meters at the end of the world. This uku has no business being afraid of me. Like, who has ever seen this fish before? It's never seen people. Why would it be afraid of me? Comes straight in and I'm able to put a beautiful stone shot there with that Pathos laser. So freaking pumped on this little gun and so stoked when it works out exactly the way it's supposed to. So sometimes I'm a little bit overconfident here in the lack of predators around. I mean, I wouldn't normally do what I do right here, which is when I let out a lot of line on the fish, normally get to the surface. Of course, instead of dragging this thing to the top with me, I just let the reel line go. A lot easier to make a deeper dive, to ascend a lot further like this. But when I get to the surface here, I should have definitely pulled this line in using my hands, not using the reel. And because I was a little overconfident here, the fish was stoned, I knew it wasn't going anywhere, I'm just casually kind of reeling my line in. This takes away one step. Like, instead of pulling it in and then having to reel it in, I could just do it all in one step. And that's what I'm doing right here, just super, super casual and mellow. And it brings in this freaking monster. So when this thing came in, I guess Ben was actively chumming, dropped the kahala on accident to go and try and protect my uku. And when he did that, of course, now this kahala is dropping down. We have a whole stringer of fish on the surface and my uku is there flopping around. So we've got like 3 points of fish for this tiger to come in and get, and it was not a good situation. Luckily, she was a really, really big pregnant female, and she was really cautious. And she kind of came in, she did a little investigating, she could have taken whatever she wanted. Luckily, she decided to cruise back down to the bottom, and I was like, oh my God, that kahala is sinking to the bottom. She's gonna eat that and become really, really fired up. And then, just as expected, that big, beautiful tiger ate the kahala on the bottom and then came right back up looking for more. And these big, giant female pregnant sharks are very cautious. You know, as soon as we assert that we are not worth the trouble, like Ben pokes it right there and it understands, like, hey, we're gonna defend these fish. And it knows, okay, these guys aren't worth it, I'm gonna take off. And then we got to keep our fish. That shark didn't get harmed, everybody won. But it was definitely time to head back to shore. All right, guys, so just got out of the water there and bumped into some of our subscribers. What are you guys' names? Abram?
Camille. Daisha.
Sweet. So you guys are doing what? You guys are fishing down here or what?
Fishing, diving.
Just for the day?
Yeah.
Fishing and diving? And if you guys catch anything, you're gonna send me pictures?
Yep.
How about a video? You guys making a video?
Maybe.
You got a GoPro right there. You guys catch anything, I wanna see it on video, and then we'll put it in this video right here.
For sure.
Stoked? All right, we'll see you guys back home. You guys have seen me do this so many times for a reason. The Chick-fil-A uku is like the #1 requested thing ever, and anytime I have an uku, it's just the first thing that everybody asks for. So all I've done here is I've marinated all that fish in pickle juice. I've got our batter and our egg wash, all with that Chick-fil-A copycat recipe. We'll put that thing down below. I'm gonna heat up this oil. Guys, this is gonna be cool. John? Won't you hold me dear? Hold me deep into the night and we'll be fearless together. Guys, these look incredible. Freaking Chick-fil-A uku. It's gonna be awesome again. We're gonna take this inside and have a feast. Guys, without a doubt, the fish recipe that sticks in my mind more than anything is this negi butter thing that Tyler did one time on the boat with our buddy Wes. And this is that Ono that Ben shot yesterday. Tyler, I freaking do it. I can't wait. You have this?
Your breath, it haunts me, words unclear.
I don't think you had the thing last time.
You didn't do it properly, but it still was like the best thing ever.
I love that. Okay. I love it.
Bro, that was exactly, that was what I remember right there. With the butter, like how do you get butter onto sushi? Like that's incredible, guys. We're gonna put this recipe down. You gonna share this with the people?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, so maybe not. Maybe you'll have to wait till we do a dedicated negi butter nigiri recipe. Maybe later on.
I think that might be my favorite.
That's it right there. Guys, what a cool night here with that. After that unbelievable day of spearfishing with that Ono and all those ukus, to come over here to this gorgeous place, make those fish sandwiches for everybody, have Tyler make that negi butter freaking, what is it? Negi butter?
Sashimi.
No, there's a word. Negi butter nigiri. That's a tough one to say right there. But guys, that was incredible. Like this video before you leave, and then we'll see you next time right here on Ryan Myers Expeditions.
Good night. We're getting matching tattoos. See you next time.
We're not.
How do you